These are the reasons why many young people living in rich European countries are unhappy and looking for alternatives. By the end of this video, I will share some solutions that might work for you. So the first reason is bureaucracy and rules. I mean, especially as someone who comes from Germany, I can tell you that starting a business or just building something up is so difficult because there's so many rules you have to follow. This is not as bad in the US or in Estonia, for example, but largely speaking in Western Europe, there are so many bureaucratic processes that take so long that it's no fun. The next reason is taxes. If you're an employee in Germany, you have to pay pension insurance, health insurance, unemployment insurance, nursing care insurance, and accident insurance. And this is not voluntary. This is not even like your decision to pay them. No, this is automatically deducted. Another example is this broadcasting fee, which is, even if you don't have a TV, even if you never owned or listened to a radio, you have to pay it, and it's actually quite expensive. Now, if you're a business, you're a little bit better off because you don't have to automatically pay for all of these insurances. You still have to pay for the broadcasting fee, but yeah, it's not difficult to fall into tax brackets of 30 or 40% relatively quickly. And that's why people then build elaborate legal constructs with multiple businesses and shift money around just to lower their tax burden. Most people can't do that on their own, so they have to hire someone. That costs money. It's just a hassle to maintain. I mean, filing taxes in general, like, why does it have to be so complicated? I know Germany is especially bad in this, but this is pretty true for many developed countries. Living costs, yeah. I mean, I saw this comment from some other YouTube video, and it says, "Our generation can't afford a family, raise children, or own a house. Most live paycheck to paycheck." Rent prices are just absurd in pretty much every developed city. So most people can't afford to live in a city but have to move on the outskirts, and then it's just like, well, you might as well not live in a city at all. If you pay so much in taxes and you pay so much to live, you might also get jobs with a good pay. And well, the answer is not really. I mean, you just see this photo from Germany. The average salary of a video editor ranges between 30,000 and 42,000 euros annually. And if you compare that with the US, 51,000, that's 45,000 euros right now. That's the lower limit here, is still higher than the 42,000 upper limit in Germany. And yes, in the US, you're probably gonna pay more for living expenses, but it's not like it's cheap in Europe. And on top of that, you know, you have cold weather pretty much in all developed countries, as they're usually in the northern hemisphere. You have cold weather, rainy weather, bad winters, people are unhappy. People are just cold. I mean, this is of course a generalization, but it is pretty much a consensus that people living in warmer countries are more friendly, are more inviting, and it's easier to. Point 7 is elderly demographic. In pretty much all developed countries, as far as I know, you have an elderly demographic. And while this is not always the case, very often older people and younger people do not care or vote for the same things. You might just have different values, different lifestyle choices that do not align with the values of a developed country. And the last point is, if you live in a developed country, you know, everything is already developed. If you want to create, if you want to build something, maybe that is not the best place to do it. If you want to be in the place which has the most potential to grow in the next years, in the next decades, then that's probably not Western Europe and probably not the US. So if you've watched this video until now and you agree with some of these points, then I might have a solution for you. And the solution is, drumroll, geoarbitrage and flag theory. Geoarbitrage, well, means having your income from a rich country while living in a poor country. And flag theory is to internationalize your life with the intent to maximize personal freedom by not being tied to any one specific country. that deserves a whole video for itself. If you want to know more about it now, just Google it. The 3 main ways you can do this is, to move to a cheaper country, rent something there, or buy land and build something. The other option is to become a digital nomad, a perpetual traveler, go from country to country, not really settling down anywhere and paying very little to no taxes. And the third option, my favorite option by far, is to get a mobile home, get a van, or get a boat. I mean, that's something I want to do further down in my journey. But in my opinion, it is way more sustainable than being a digital nomad, because you have your own space. You can actually have a productive work setup, and you can bring stuff with you. So if that sounds exciting, then click on this video next, where I will go over the 5 different types of van life. Hint, there's actually many more than 5 kinds of van life, but you will see that in that video. See you there. Bye.